Ready for the puck drop here as the Don Valley Vikings have come to town to take on the Newcastle Predators. It's the Predators that come out with it, with Stu Darby. He dumps it into the corner. Don Valley have just got it behind their net right now, just trying to play it out. Predators are doing well though, and that's going to be called for offside. Just crept over as Mr. Emerson, the referee, has made the call. So we'll get the face-off just outside of the blue line, and slightly distracting there because the Don Valley goalie's got a very similar coloured jersey to the Predators, white one. Let's see, Don Valley Vikings have started with their young guns line of Tommy Smith, Chris Dale and Malcolm Smith. They're just taking it behind their net now as Mark Illingworth, one of the two defensemen on the ice at the minute, he's just trying to play it out now. Smith trying to go for the diagonal pass, but right now it's the Predators have made the brighter start, but now the Vikings are looking to bring it in. Just carrying it through, Kurt Algie unable to get it. Dvorsky there, shot from distance, fired straight at the goalie. It was a fierce drive, but Predators will be happy to make that save, and really the first attack by the Vikings, because the first 40 seconds or so has all been the Predators. As it's going to be the Vikings who make a line change, and it's going to be their Brexit line, as it's called. Matai Kangyar making the draw on the face-off. Brumby there just helping out, but goalie for the Predators will cover it up. It's the Canadian Brent Hope who starts between the pipes today for the Predators, as we go for another face-off in the same spot as we had before. Kangyar wins it for the Vikings, tries to find Franks, one of his line mates, and Chris Willey, who's one of the defensemen for the Vikings, used to play for the Durham Wasps many years ago. Hodgkiss there will get there first for Predators. The puck will come back round. Jamie Penaluna trying to get in there, slammed the man into the boards, but the puck will come back now for Willey. He'll try and drive it home. Comes back off Brumby, off the back of his leg, and it's cleared all the way down. Proctor, he will play it out of defence for the Vikings, and just ushered off the puck there by Brumby. Vikings trying to force the issue behind the net, but Predators will just be happy to clear it. Nice little flick there by Anthony Charters. He'll try and dig the puck out the corner, but Willie will slam him into the boards again. Comes all the way out Winter, he'll just tap it along. Comes back out, Bone now, he'll drive one in, but caught into the chest of one of the Vikings players, Kangyar, and he blows a tyre as he tries to play it out. Peter Tomek now on the ice for the Predators. Puck comes round, Bone trying to get stuck in there, and the Vikings have got a break on here. Adam Winter's going to have to go across here to try and play it. He's just wrestled his man to the ice, and that's going to draw a penalty. It was a pretty obvious foul, it has to be said, holding, and it means that the Vikings are getting their first power play of the game, and we've had 2 minutes 15 seconds of play, and it's going to put Predators under a little bit of pressure here as Winter heads to the box, as they'll be killing his penalty for the next 2 minutes. Now it comes out to the point. Illingworth just trying to tee up one of his teammates, but the Predators are able just to force the puck out over the line. Illingworth will gather. Ronald Pierce is on the ice for the Predators, the US-born player from St. Louis, Missouri. Has a bit of an unorthodox clearance there. The puck loops up, but goes some distance, and it comes out the zone, and that will allow the pressure just to ease off the Predators for the time being. Nice little turn there by Ronald Pierce as that puck, that drive towards goal, just sort of caught out the Vikings goalie there, didn't it, Matthew?
Yeah, it did. Good to be on the mic.
Welcome. Yeah.
What jersey is the Predators netminder wearing there? Is that like a Northern Stars jersey?
It looks very much like a Northern Stars jersey. Yeah, I couldn't quite work out what it was, but you're right, Matthew. I think it could well be one of them.
Do you think they just take it in turns to see who can wear a different team's jersey each week?
Well, yeah, possibly. It's very confusing. It's so similar to the Predators' home jersey, what they're wearing for this game. It's nothing like the black and gold, black and orange that Don Valley got as another sort of attempt, just goes through the crease, but it wasn't enough to catch out Brent Hope on that occasion. as the goalie for Don Valley is David Damola. He made his name in roller hockey before joining the ranks for the Rec League. And Don Valley have got off to a great start this season, so this is going to be a tough matchup for the Predators, but so far so good. They're killing this penalty quite well, and this is pretty much their strongest lineup for the Don Valley team, based out of Ice Sheffield. But now they've got a break on here with Smith. He's going to look to try and take it around, but was unable to get past Michael Ord on that occasion. Drive from Dvorsky on the point. Just comes back off the boards. It's going to cycle back round for Smith. Glove save, but he spills it a little bit, Hope, but he got away with that one, and he'll be happy to see his teammates just mop that one up. Pressure's still on, though, because the puck's still in the zone on this power play. It's frantic action here at Hillhead's Ice Rink, as Mick will fire one in, number 11. And that will do it for the power play. They've killed the penalty well, have the Predators. Limited Vikings to shots there, didn't they, Matthew?
They did. The Vikings are very good at using the boards, I'm noticing. They've got quite a few breaks by bounce that puck off along the boards. So, good tactic, and it is getting them in the Predators zone quite a lot of the time. Yeah,
and Jake Shanks won that one for the Predators. They're just going to try and clear it out their zone here, but it's kept in for now. Chris Dale, I should say, is wearing number 11, not Mick, as it says on the back of his jersey. And that is that top line, the Young Guns line, as it's been called. As they've been banging the points home and goals as well for the Vikings this season. Played 4 and won 4 so far, as we're going to get an icing call on that one. And that'll be brought all the way back down, and that just means that the Predators can't make that line change, Matthew, and that means there'll just be some tie of their legs out there.
Yeah, 5 minutes in, I don't think you could really call who's been the stronger team so far. We've just been a bit back and forth. I mean, the Vikings have had a few more shots on, I'd say, but pretty even so far.
Yeah, it has. Certainly Predators, up until they took that penalty, had made a bright start, and certainly not been the one-sided encounter we were led to believe, as the Predators have got a tough matchup here today, of course, but they're doing well as Shanks fires one in off Chris Willie's legs. We come back out by the Vikings. They're carrying it in. Emerson's got his arm up. He's seen an infraction. What's he going to call here? Slashing. Well, I didn't see that one, Matthew, did you?
No, must have been a bit off the play of that. Or a weak call. Have all the penalties so far been for Predators?
Yes, that's the second penalty of the game, and this one's on Jake Shanks, who's one of the forwards for the Predators.
We're just over 5 minutes in and 2 penalties already. If they keep doing that, they're just going to give a goal to the Vikings.
Yeah, they're going to have to stay out the box. Certainly Illingworth fires up a long drive from the point. Had all the time in the world to get that shot away as well. That one, I think, hit the base of the post, comes back off the boards as well. Brent Hope just making sure he sees it around. As it's going to come back for the Vikings now. It's quite a formidable line, a bit has to be said. They've got a couple of Slovaks and a couple of Poles on their team. It's an international flavour to it, certainly, as Hope will cover that one up. He was taking no chances then. Puck just seemed to sit up a bit, didn't it, and bobble, and wasn't going to take any sort of chances with a dodgy bounce.
Well, if we look at how it was last week, we had, obviously we had Durham Dragons here against the Comets. They had a very cautious netminder, and I think the Predators netminder is very much doing the same. They know that they're against the strong side. He's not going to take any chances, just letting them have a puck sat there right in front of the net with none of the D-men really coming in to get it.
That's very true, actually, because they grew into the game with confidence, didn't they, Durham? They were coming up against probably stronger opponents, let's be fair, but they just were covering the puck up and taking those no chances on it. It sort of just grew with confidence, and they took the game in the end. Yeah, cautious. Yeah,
cautious, and held that until they got ahead, and then they kind of, when they drew level, then they went for it, and then as soon as they got that goal ahead, they were cautious once again. So it was good tactics from Durham, and we could see the Predators maybe copying a bit of that.
Maybe, yeah. Emil Spakowski there on the right wing. He was just trying to clear it out, but right now the Predators have the puck high up the ice in the Viking zone, as Ronald Pearce just got caught in possession a little bit here. Kangyar will try and force the counter-attack. It's going to come all the way around. Paul Brumby's going to try and get there first. Former Sunderland Chiefs player, of course. Came through their youth team, their junior development team many years ago now. As Illingworth was had a couple of stabs at that, but Brent Hope just covered that one up again and made the save, and he's looked alert so far, hasn't he?
Yeah, Predators aren't. They're not taking any chances on this power play for the Vikings. They're right in front of the net, right next to the goalie, and the Vikings are trying to get some players in front of the net to try and get some tip-ins, but not going to happen when you've got 3 guys and a netminder in the way. Yeah,
as Woolley just tips the puck forward to Hartley, and Predators doing well. They're going to force the puck up the ice once more. That's going to eat into his power play. Just over 20 seconds left on the power play for the Vikings, and Predators have done well. Kurt Elgee is just backpedaling now, as Don Valley trying to get a shot away there with David Packwood. He's normally on the Tour de France line, as it's called, because I like to cycle the puck. But
we've had someone go through the door.
That was a little bit unfortunate, wasn't it? That's normally the entrance for the public skating.
Oh,
so obviously someone's not bolted the door properly, have they?
You did say you did say last week that if an accident's going to happen in this rink, it's going to be that corner, and
it always tends to be.
Had that proven.
Yeah, it always tends to be, but a bit of an unfortunate event for him, as we've got about 8 seconds left on this power play now. But good to see he's okay. He's got up, as Jake Shanks is getting ready to re-enter the action in the next few seconds. Bit of a tame shot there from Jones, that one. He just tried to steer that one home and almost caught out Brent Hope, but he was thankful to see that one go wide. As Chris Woolley there, former Durham Wasps player, he's just doing the old trick of standing in front of a door just so that Shanks can't get out and force a quick breakaway, because if the Predators win this one, they can be away, and indeed they have won it.
But they've iced it.
Yeah, as and Woolley had to retreat and play the puck, but Shanks is now back in action, so we've got 5-on-5 hockey again now. Hartley slammed into the boards there. Peter Tomek, former Whitley Warriors player, of course, he's making his second appearance, as Mel Lydall's going to make a call here now.
I've got another Predators power play penalty, that is.
And I believe that is on Peter Tomek. Interference was the call, as experienced Slovakian player. As I say, he had won half a season really with the Whitley Warriors back in the 2008-2009 season. So many Warriors fans will be familiar with him. As first time I've seen him for a long time actually was last week. I believe that was his first competitive game for the Predators, and this indeed is his second appearance for the club. As Don Valley win the draw.
They're doing well on the penalty kill, but just as they kill one off there, getting another one.
Yeah, as the puck's played all the way down the ice, Anthony Charters will give chase just to help force the puck further up the ice and force Don Valley to play it. Huge slap shot there by number 74, Jack Hartley, another one of the Tour de France line members. As Willie will retreat and go back into his zone. He's looking to play it out. Finds his man at centre ice now, Hartley, who is on this line with Jones. It is in fact the full Tour de France line that's on this power play unit. As there's a couple of stabs going in there. Winter just not having any of it, and Jones inadvertently upends one of the Predators players there as well, and he's quick to apologise. I don't think he quite meant to shove Stu Davis down, who's the player coach of the Predators. He was very quick to apologise there, wasn't he?
Yeah, didn't look very happy looking up at him on the ice there. But Brent Hope's doing really well on that so far for the Predators.
He is indeed, as it comes back to the point. Jakub Dvorsky, Slovakian player. It's, not to be confused with Paul Dvorsky, who used to be a referee in the NHL. As Illingworth fires in a shot that's cleared out there by... not quite sure who that was, actually. That would have been Stu Darby, number 13. As the Predator just trying to play it out. Winter's going to have to give chase, though, because the Vikings looking to try and centre here. And I think he just slipped over. I don't think he was tripped. Illingworth thought about it. Oh, wow, what a hit. That's a great mid-ice hit, although Illingworth's gone down. He looks in some discomfort, but Davis just wiped him out with a great mid-ice hit.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that hit whatsoever.
No.
And Mel Lydall, who was right in front of him as well, and he's not made a call, so he was obviously happy there was nothing untoward with it.
Yeah, clean hit. that'll slow him down for the rest of the night.
It will indeed. I mean, he's looked quite prominent in this game so far, Illingworth, but he looks like he'll be seeing stars as he goes back to the bench. That was that lit him up well, that one. As
we're not even talking about the stars on his netminder's jersey.
No, that's right, yeah. As we've got a face-off just in front of us here in the commentary box. Emerson drops the puck, comes back to Willie on the point. He'll just dump it in. Algie will give chase, but it comes all the way around. Hodgkiss thought about playing it. Predators just trying to kill the rest of his power play. 30 seconds to go. Willie will collect. Willie fires a puck up towards Smith.
Now, the Vikings nearly got a break on there, and that's because we had 4 Predators players follow them into their zone, but they're on the penalty kill, so that was a bit risky.
It was a little bit, wasn't it? As Dale will gather at centre ice, he'll just dump it in there. He can't really do anything else. As Malcolm Smith will give chase, huge clearance there, and it goes right under the stick of Dominic Proctor, one of the defensemen for the Sheffield-based team Don Valley. As once again, Predators are back to full strength. Let's hope they stay that way for a little bit longer now. As Tommy Smith will gather, plays it back. Willie just circles round, plays the puck, collects the puck again. He'll go, thinks about going again, but he has to retreat there. Attempted hit there by Stu Davies. Unable to connect on that occasion. But another good penalty kill by the Predators, it has to be said. Proctor plays it around the boards, comes all the way around to Malcolm Smith. He sort of almost backheels it with his skate as Dale will collect, goes towards goal, gets a backhanded shot in, but Brent Hope just sees it around and it's into that corner. Now Tommy Smith getting bashed about like a pinball there between 2 or 3
he's
players.
going to throw that dead. Nope.
No, he's not on that occasion.
Close to.
He was, yeah, and they've got a break on here and it's in. That's the first goal, straight through the legs, and they got the break on there. I think there was too many Predators players in that corner, and it just meant that I had 2 or 3 Vikings players just waiting to put that one home, and one of them was going to stab it home.
Yep, Predators players were all tied up against the boards as Don Valley were trying to get that puck. Eventually got it out, and they had, I'm not sure who you said it was, right in front of the net waiting for it. And was it through the 5-hole?
It was, he did go 5-hole, yeah, indeed. And Brent Hope wasn't happy with that at all. As they've gone back to the Brexit line now.
They'll be happy that the referee didn't blow that down, because he was very, very close to when we've had a goal out of it. So.
Indeed, yeah. As Kangyar will take the draw.
9:30 remaining in the first.
Yeah, as Peter Tomek took that draw for the Predators. It's dumped back in. Mark T-Bone will get there first, and it's going to be brought back for icing, I believe. As it's going to be brought all the way back down, but I mean, just after they'd killed them 3 penalties as well, the Predators, they'll be a little bit disappointed that they've given that one up, won't they?
I don't think we could really not say that it was a bit of a fluke goal. You know, they'd all got caught up. There was nobody there because they were all basically being tied up in the corner.
Yeah, indeed. As it's behind the Don Valley net right now. Dumped back in. Tried to be cleared there as Spakovsky is, who blows a tyre. I mean, he gets back up. He's got the break on here. Trying to centre it towards Franks, I think, but didn't quite make it to him. Dvorsky on the point, across. Illingworth, that's his first action since being winded on that play before by Stu Davies. Franks goes towards goal. Illingworth unable to keep it in the zone. It's going to come all the way out. As Anthony Charters was closing him down quickly. Franks banks a puck off Winter's legs there. LG will just play it along, clears it out there. As Dvorsky will get there first, being closed down by Davies. He was the first one onto the scene. LG dumps it back in. Dvorsky will collect again. You said Dvorsky, one of 3 Slovakian players on the team. He's the defenseman. Franks trying to close it down. Dvorsky again, just being caught in possession again. As the puck comes back off the plexi, Kandyar will let to get the break on here. He's going to go towards goal, fires, comes back off the chest of Brent Hope, and he'll cover that one up. And Don Valley are starting to move the puck a lot better now, aren't they? It's like they've woken up a little bit more since getting that goal.
Yeah, they're getting quite a few one-man rushes as well. We had some great play from number 65 for the Predators, Jake Shanks there. He ended up losing his stick in that, and he still managed to keep playing his defensive role, just pushing the Don Valley players off the puck.
Yeah, he's an important member of his team, as Ian Russell will try and close down. He's got it in the corner. He's on a line with Jamie Penaluna, who's just come back from a 3-game suspension.
Now we've got 2-on-1 there.
Yeah, another break. Like you're saying, they're getting these odd man rushes, aren't they, as Hartley collects for Don Valley. And will be just played up. I thought Hodgkiss there. Derek Hodgkiss was going to play it to Algie, but he dumped it in instead. Actually, just to give him a bit of a shout out already, because he's soon to hit the big 50. The big 5-0, so congratulations to him, as he's been a prominent member of his team for a number of years now. Paul Brumby just unable to clear it. Penaluna, or Doug as he likes to be called, tries to clear it as well. Now Willie for Don Valley. Hartley just flicks it on, it will come back into the zone. Kurt Algie will look to try and play it, as Brumby and Penaluna go back to the bench. Willie seems to get a lot of ice time actually, and I suppose it's to be expected. As an experienced defenseman, he's seen action for the Durham Wasps. Of course, he came through the youth system, but he's also played for the old Sunderland Chiefs and Billingham Bombers. So he's got a lot of experience in the North East. So he'll know this facility well, as Mark Bone will dump it in. And he's also played for Paisley Pirates, I noticed. So yeah, very accomplished defenseman in his day. As Mark Bone again will gather, tries to clear it, and the puck's actually left the ice. It took a deflection off Packwood's stick and just looped over plexi and
off the crowd goal to get the puck.
Yeah, that was
back in play. That was generous. I think
yeah,
we've got 2 pucks in the ice now.
Well, I know that the thing is, certainly with Warriors games, you're allowed to keep the puck, but I think it's a little bit different for rec games. They cost a bit of money, don't they?
Just as you were talking about how Willie had been on the ice for quite a lot, I just thought I'd have a look at the benches. We've not got any really short benches today, which is good to see.
No, that's right, as Don Valley play with 3 forward lines and 2 defensive pairings, but they look very strong, and Predators look to be doing something similar. They do look a little bit short on D, I've got to say. They've only got 3 recognised defencemen named for the game, but they're certainly rolling out 3 strong forward lines, so we'll see how that goes for them.
Then again, maybe this is why that they are the Don Valley are getting lots of on-man rushes coming their way. So we've only got 3 Predators defensemen.
Well, there could be, but yeah, they'll be rotating their D players, I guess. So that almost kept through, didn't it? Smith's claiming it, but it's washed out by Mel Lydell. He's not happy with it, and I don't think it went in, did it?
Either it didn't go in, or I'm pretty sure the official had actually pretty much blown his whistle as it went in, if it had. So
I think that the goalie, Brent Hope, I thought he had it trapped under his skate and his pads, and it came a little bit loose, like you say, after the whistle. And that's
technically covered. Don Valley player was just hack and whack with his stick there, but no goal.
No, as Paul Brumby will take the draw on this one. It's cleared all the way down the other end of the ice by Kurt Algie, who it looks like he's playing defence. Actually, he's normally a recognised forward. He's playing on a defensive pairing with Adam Winter. That might explain, and I thought they'd have to have at least one recognised forward playing there. As Penaluna goes towards goal, that come back off the goalie, off his stick somewhat, as Winter tries to keep it in, but they're going to get a break on here now with Packwood, I believe it is. He's got Winter. Well, yeah, I think he's going to cool it. He's got his arm up, as they're happy to just play it amongst themselves now. The goalie's gone off the ice for the extra attacker, so 6 on 5 for the time being here for Don Valley. Dvorsky goes for the long pass, Winter intercepts, and that will bring out the penalty.
Hooking on the Predators there. Yeah, he had the Don Valley player breaking into the zone there, and
yeah, hooking. That was well spotted, Matthew, and indeed Mel Lydell's made the calls. That's the 4th penalty of the period for the Predators.
The official called that right by the Predators bench, so he got it in the ear a bit there. I don't think they agreed with that penalty.
No, and the coach Stu Davies is very animated character. Great guy, great hockey guy, and As I was saying last week, anyone who's familiar with the actor Brian Glover, he's got an uncanny likeness. His voice sounds just like him, and his team talks are very entertaining as well, especially when he's sat behind the bench.
I know.
As Peter Tomek makes a huge hit there. Never seen that in a Warriors jersey.
4th power play for Don Valley now.
Yeah, it is, and not even played. Well, just over 15 minutes have been played in the game.
We've yet to see the Predators get a power play for themselves.
Yeah, there's a huge clearance there. Went the full end of the ice, but that could have even got into the top corner of the net.
Yeah,
it wasn't that far off.
It went just over the crossbar. That was pretty close.
And they've scored short-handed.
No.
Have they? No. Peter Tomek, he had his hands up. I think he thought it had gone in, but no. And as Kurt Elgey comes in there with a cross-check, Chris Woolley not happy. And it's a bit of to-ing and throwing going on there. Both teams pushing, and I'm not quite sure what happened there, but Tomek thought it had gone in. He certainly had his hands up claiming the goal, but I don't think it had crept in at first. As Algey's gone to the box, he's going to earn himself a penalty here for the cross-check. As Stu Davies, the coach, is having a word indeed. Yeah, that is the call. It's going to be a 5-on-3 now for the next minute 14 seconds. But I mean, that would have been a remarkable response, wouldn't it? Short-handed goal at that stage.
And it was very close to being as well.
It was.
I wasn't actually watching where the referee was, obviously, because we are watching the puck. But I think he was on his goal line. I think he had a good sight of it.
Indeed, as Jake Shanks is going to take this face off for the Predators. They're going to have to defend it in their own zone now because the infraction has brought the puck all the way back down to the other end of the ice.
Who have we got there for Predators? Have we got
in the box?
Any specific D-men on the ice at the moment?
Well, Shanks will be the lone forward, I'd imagine. They'll go with 2D. It looks like Mark Bones out there, number 55. I can't quite see who.
I think it's Hodgkiss.
I think it is Hodgkiss, indeed. Yeah, he's normally a forward, but it looks like he's lining up as a defenseman as well. So they have actually named 5 defensemen for this game, but 2 of them are recognised as forwards. So see what happens. But yeah, 2 experienced guys there. Anyways, Franks gets the puck. He was looking to lay it off there. Goes back for Willie. Across. And fired in by Proctor. Comes all the way back again. Franks again. He'll go across to Proctor on that far side. Proctor will just lay it off once more. It's gone into that corner. Hodgkiss will try and clear it. Willie will keep it in. He will look to fire. Or maybe not. He's going to lay it off. He's just slowed up a little bit there. His Shanks closed him down. They've got a few spare men, obviously, with a 5-on-3 power play here. But Predators holding their position right now, just battling away as hard as they possibly can. As Willie will look to try and fire. Comes back. Shanks just slams his man into the boards there, trying to do all he can to put him off his game. Franks skates through the crease, but unable to collect that sort of errant pass there. As they're still going, Hodgkiss will look to clear it. It will come out the zone, and that will force Don Valley to retreat. And they are going to go for a line change. That was a long shift for both teams. Franks will carry it back in, though, as Mark Bowen will have to try and close him down.
Back to 4 men for the Predators.
Yeah, that's right. They've got one of their men back, Adam Winter, who is one of the defensemen. They've got a break on here, actually. Winter, the defenseman, he's up against 2 more players, but he's done well. He's getting slashed all over as well by Jones. I'm surprised nothing was called on that one. He had a couple of goes at him. As puck just flips up a little bit off Packwood. Well, yeah, it could have been. He certainly looked like he was ahead of him as Davies finishes his check.
Oh dear.
And somebody else has been upended. Hodgkiss once more.
Yeah, that was purely accidental.
It was, yeah. It was. As that will be covered up. But we have, I think, must be done because at least the second penalty wasn't shown. No, there it is. 18 seconds left on Kurt Elgey's penalty, and
that was definitely offside. I can call that. The player that was in front tried to kind of quickly spin off, but he still had one of his feet in, one of his skates in as the other player came in, but it didn't come out as a goal anyway.
Yeah, that's right. As come all the way around then for Packwood. He was looking to try and clear it. Stu Darby just doing all he can. And Hodgkiss has been upended again, accidentally.
Full strength for the Predators.
Yeah, Algie's back into the action. I thought he was going to head to the bench at first, but he's staying out there for now. As that's good that they've got their recognised D-men back out there now, as Illingworth puts a hit in there. He had his arm up, but I don't think Ronald Pearce was too happy with it. Let him know about it. He tried to retaliate somewhat, but nothing happened. As Dvorsky's going to have to backtrack here. He'll get to a puck first. And it'll come all the way around. Just over 1 minute to go, about the 1 minute 20 left in this first period.
Very snowy out there at the minute because the ice didn't actually get cut after an hour training session with some junior players.
That's right, it was cut, wasn't it, around 4 o'clock, 4:05, and there was a junior puck chasing game on just before this, and then it went straight into training for this game. So you're right, it would normally get cut at the start of a rec game, as Tommy Smith's going to give chase for this one. Brent Hope will play it though. Oh, and he nearly caught himself out there. It took a unfortunate bounce almost through the legs, as they've got another break on here with Don Valley, but Hope recovers and does enough just to poke the puck away. Illingworth waiting on the point now. I think he was hoping for a puck to be pulled back to him. Now, as we have just over 30 seconds left in this first period, Dvorsky looking to dump it back in, but he's going to have to wait for his teammates to come out, and indeed they hadn't come out quick enough, as that's going to be called for offside. I don't think they're too happy about that decision either, are they? And giving the referee some verbals as they go back to the bench. I hope Mel Lydell speaks good Slovakian, as it was Dvorsky who was shouting at him.
What's the situation with, I mean, it's quite unheard of, what's the situation with bench officials and having a bit of a word with referees in Rec League?
As far as I'm aware, if you're abusing the referee, you can earn yourself the misconduct as you can in NIHL games or any other level. So you do have to be careful. I know they can be quite strict with penalties in rec games, and certainly if you get a fight in majors, there's going to be another penalty here. This time it's going to be on Don Valley, I think.
Number 16?
Yes, indeed it is going to be them, isn't it? It's Tommy Smith, who he certainly led with his elbow there, I think, didn't he? So he earns his team their first penalty. It's going to be roughing is the call. So just over 9 seconds to go in this first period. It means that the Predators will have the whole of almost all of their penalty on the second period. So
of course his name's on the last page I have.
LG's calling for it though, and that will do it for the first period, I believe. That is yeah, that's it. That's going to get a couple of minutes intermission here as both teams will go back to the bench. But well, it was a frantic start, really, wasn't it? It's probably caught us out a little bit as well, hasn't it?
Yeah. One goal in the first period, bit of a fluke one. I think Don Valley have one thing that particularly stood out for me was their positioning when they were on the power play, and obviously they were on the power play a lot, coming into the zone, slowing it all down, passing it around, and they had a very good number of opportunities, 4 power plays for them, and obviously, well, 5-on-3 as well. So really I think we should have more than one goal, but that first period was probably all Don Valley.
Yes, yeah, and we kind of expected that. I mean, Don Valley are such a strong team. They're halfway through their schedule so far now, and they've won all 4 games. They've done the double over their cross city rivals, the Sheffield Ice Tigers, and champions of the last 2 years, the Grimsby Ice Bears. So they've come in here, they've scored a lot of goals, and I think Predators knew they were going to get a good game here.
Yeah, they've just had a few moments where, you know, their D-men have come up, because I think they are looking for that first goal, and they've given Don Valley the odd man rushes. Obviously they are kind of chasing the game at the moment, so they are going to get a bit goal hungry and be doing things like that, but they need to be careful because Don Valley will be searching for the win. Yes,
they are. As just makes you think, doesn't it, how sort of international these rec games are. There's about 3 Slovakians on the Don Valley team, and of course there's the Slovakian Peter Tomek on the Newcastle Predators team as well. So it's It's very interesting to be able to call games like this.
We've got a Canadian netminder. We've got
American forward in Ronald Pierce. Yeah.
They are very international teams. More international than most NIHL teams.
Well, certainly more than the Whitley Warriors, who, I mean, I don't even think Andre Payet is classed as an import anymore.
No, he is.
Well, okay. Well, he's Canadian born, and when the Predators can name 3 players. Of course, you can only name 2 in the NIHL, but it's seemingly unlimited at this level. But it's good to see. It makes it a little bit more interesting, and with at least 3 of them on their second line, the Don Valley Vikings can call that line the Brexit line. So having a bit of fun with that, certainly.
We've got more imports in Rec League than the EPL. Oh,
yes,
the league that doesn't exist now.
Yeah, the league that was the EPL. It's failed because they were trying to pay far too much money and couldn't sustain it. But we've got some issues with that at the minute, aren't we? Because of some comments made and referring to the NIHL as a beer league. Well,
good news for the Rec League then.
Absolutely, yeah. I think the Rec League would take umbrance at that. As Dvorsky just got caught in possession a little bit there, and Anthony Charters will play it along to Jake Shanks, behind the goal. Comes back out. Oh, and that was a nice late hit there, but nothing.
Left the puck though.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. As another tripping on. I think it was on Peter Tomek. He certainly was screaming for it, but Mel Lyder wasn't going to have that one.
No,
I don't think.
I didn't see anything there. I don't think he got tripped.
Just lost his footing, I think, more than anything, but he wasn't entirely happy with it. As Mark Bone, T-Bone, as he gets called because of his middle initial. Thomas, I believe, is his middle name. And certainly his teammates have a bit of fun with him with that one. As the puck comes all the way around to LG.
Don Valley are very confident on this power play when they've got 2 defenders waiting on the blue line and they've got a forward waiting up at the blue line of... Oh, wait a second. Do you know what it is? I keep getting mixed up by their goalie jersey.
It is very confusing, isn't it? I mean,
Predators.
If you, it caught me out in the first minute or so because you look at both ends of the rink and they've got pretty similar jerseys, and it's like, well, hang on, which one is a Predators goalie? But it is some slight confusion, but we'll do our best to try and be accurate with it. As a huge slap shot from the point by Darby comes back, it's just cleared out the zone. They'll have to retreat. There's about 10 seconds left on the penalty, so that will just about do it.
Majority of this power play has been spent in the not really in either zone, really. It's not been the best use of a power play.
It probably hasn't been. No, I'm sure the Predators would want a few more chances than that. But I mean, to be fair, their penalty killing unit's been outstanding. They've had a lot of practice with it in this game so far. 1 5-on-3 penalty killed and 4 others killed at that as well. So they've had a lot of practice with that in that opening period. And they're only losing by the 1-0. So Proctor from the point, he's going to fire one in from distance. Comes back off the boards, looking to follow it up. It's flash wide. Did a little bit, didn't he? He just gave up a little bit of room on that far side of his net, but flash wide, and he'll be relieved to see it go away. As it's like coming together there in front of the Predators boards. There's Penaluna. He's looking to try and clear it. Doug, as he likes to be called by his friends. His first game back after a 3-game suspension, so he'll be looking to make a statement, I would think. Dvorsky fires it in, goes over the top of the glove of Brent Hope, though. Still have possession of it here, though. Don Valley with their Brexit line out there. Adam Winter cycles it round, looking to try and clear. Go again, turns again. He's getting tapped along, though, by one of the players' stick. Now, Penaluna playing it along. Coming together at centre ice there between Kangyar and Winter. Spakovsky on this right wing. He's carrying it in. He's just been levelled there.
That was a high hit.
It is by Winter, and Kangyar wasn't happy with him and wanted to try and defend his teammate, but Winter was ready for him, I think, and it was a big hit, but I didn't see anything wrong with it, and seemingly the officials didn't either, because they've not made a call. As Willie will gather. He plays it up to Shanks. Shanks just doing all he can to get the puck off.
If you could get a bit more off it, that would have been probably would have been a nice back.
Would have, yeah. Ian Russell there getting tangled up with Jones, and he heads back to the bench. Quite a short shift for Ian Russell. Scored a good goal last week. Knows our colleague Michelle Story very well. They work together. As somebody else has gone over here now. It's
penalty. They need to chill out a bit. They're getting in front of the net and they're all just shoving each other down. And
well, I mean,
is Don Valley getting the penalty this time?
I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure which way this is going to get called, because both teams certainly did some pushing and shoving.
Don Valley pushed the Predators player down, and then we had another Predators player come in and push.
Yeah,
the retaliation penalty.
And he's just signalled misconduct. He's given the sign of the misconduct. I'm not quite sure who. Maybe to the bench. To the Predators bench. Yeah, Emerson it was who made the call. So that's Anthony Charter's got in there, so I think he might have got the misconduct call. As he's not happy with that at all, is he, Charters? He's offering out his opposite number, actually. He's saying anytime, and a couple of expletives which we can't repeat.
Yeah, apologies for some of the language.
But it is quite an excitable sport at times, isn't it?
So is it the one penalty and no?
I think it's just going to be on the Predators, isn't it? It's going to be 2 plus 10.
Yeah.
It's going to be a 2 plus 10.
And then we've got
I think it's on Charters. He's got the misconduct call, but there'll be one of his teammates is serving a penalty. I think it's Michael Ord who's sitting in for the 2 minutes. But yeah, I mean, that's frustrating because, as you said, I mean, you thought it probably should have been called on Don Valley because they did the initial hit.
Yeah, I think it should have been both ways, to be honest, because even after you could have called the penalty that we've just had on the Predators a retaliation penalty, but even after that we had Don Valley shove another Predators player down.
That's
so
right,
should have probably been both ways.
And the hits are getting a little bit more tastier, aren't they? There's a little bit more power behind them and a bit more venom. So it might just boil over as 20 seconds into this power play now. Illingworth's calling for it on this far side.
Yeah, calling for it.
And now he will receive it eventually. No one on him. He will unleash a shot. Oh, and that caught out Hope, didn't it? He just made the save, but I don't think he was expecting it. Took the sting out of the shot and it just fell on the doorstep of the goal line as Illingworth has been put on his back again.
Don Valley not happy with that, but that was a clean hit.
It was. Dvorsky's just been hit as well.
If you're going to start shoving players down, that's going to happen.
It is, and it's quite a good atmosphere in here, isn't it, Matthews? A few fans in here, which is good to see, and even Don Valley have made a couple of journeys up with their fans. So
a few Don Valley jerseys around.
It's quite a nice shirt as well, actually. It reminds me of a team in Finland called Kukku from the town of Kuvala. Very similar colour scheme, black and orange. It's quite nice, quite different. Don't often see many like that in England, so good to see. As Illingworth will collect on the blue line, but I think they're going to call him for offside there. I think his teammate just was advanced a little bit too early, number 87, Malcolm Smith.
If we had the white instead of black on Don Valley's jersey, we'd have a very Flyers looking.
Yeah, and that's never a good thing, is it? As, you never want to see a Philadelphia Flyers jersey. They're disgusting at the best of times. As, well, I often think it's an awful jersey, but this year, because it's their 50th anniversary, as it is for several other teams in NHL, they added a bit of gold to it, and that's, how to make a horrible jersey even worse, add gold to it. That is the Philadelphia Flyers.
Steal the Penguins colour.
Yeah.
Not quite gold, but...
No, not quite, but we all know the Penguins are the number one team in Pennsylvania, no doubt about that.
Soon to be the NHL.
As there's another collision at mid-ice. And it is just going up a notch here as Dale tried to centre one but didn't have enough on it. Willie keeps it in.
We've got a penalty coming?
No,
call it offside.
He was going to call offside, but they didn't touch it. They retreated. And that will do it. And well, that's odd because both players have now come back into the game. So seemingly that wasn't a 2-on-10. That's an odd call because there was 5-on-4, wasn't it? It wasn't a 5-on-3.
No, hang on. We've got the I think it's Mark Bowen on the Predators bench calling out one of the players. Then the referee might notice. No.
Yeah, I don't know if Charters was meant to be serving a 10-minute penalty on that, and in which case he should still be in the box. But both players exited the box at the same time, and as I read it, it was a 2+10 for 2+10 misconduct. So yeah, I'm a bit perplexed with that one, but seemingly it has ended. Not quite sure what the call was then, but either way, the Predators are back to full strength. Ian Russell trying to close down his man as Mark Bowen will carry it over, and they're just defending their own end right now. It's so confusing trying to work out which goal is which. As LG will collect for the Predators. Now Ian Russell, he'll try and play it for Doug Penaluna, but puck will just not quite fall for him, and in the end they will clear it. Don Valley have possession of it up in that far corner. Dale helping it along now. There's a couple of players behind the net, but it's the Predators who come back out with it, as LG will play it out for Brumby to give chase. One of the characters in the game, Paul Brumby, made his name with Sunderland Chiefs, as Doug's drawn himself a penalty there, tripping Tommy Smith. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be many arguments for that. I don't think Doug's even going to say anything. I think he knows, and he will sit in the box for 2 minutes and feel shame, and then get free. As he's a really good guy, actually. I've spoke to him quite a bit recently. He's a real hockey guy, and he was frustrated last week at not getting involved in that game with the Coyotes, and I think he was relieved just to get his suspension served and getting back out on the ice. And
you know what, we could take the approach of saying, come on Predators, why are we giving this many power plays to Don Valley? But at the same, on the flip side, we could say, come on Don Valley, you've been given this many power plays, why have you not put one in the net?
Well, that's right. I mean, this is what, their 7th or 8th opportunity here. They've not converted on any of them as yet, and their one and only goal has came from open play as a 5-on-5. But yeah, you're right. I mean, they've had plenty of opportunities, and you've got to give a lot of credit to the Predators to be able to kill those penalties. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do, and you have to stay disciplined to kill them off, and they've been able to do that. So fair play to the Predators for that one. As just clearing away as Shanks just slams one of the players down, and he's just reacted there. The Don Valley player Dvorsky, he's lashed out there with a punch. He's going to have to be called he's going to have to be given a penalty for that, and he's a little bit stupid if he thinks he's going to take on Shanks in a fight. He was going to confront him there. I think he would have been flattened there.
No, that was weird.
No, I mean, I mean, there was nothing wrong with Shanks' hit. I mean, it was hard, it was heavy, but it was fair, and it was Dvorsky who lashed out with a sort of backhanded punch, and a little bit of silly, really, but that's frustration, I guess, isn't it?
But at least the retaliation penalties are being called now.
Yeah, they are being called, and that's a fair one. That's only the second penalty called on the Vikings. And to be fair, he's looked a class act on that blue line so far, the Slovakian.
Is it Peter Tomak, number 90 for the Predators?
He is indeed, yeah.
He very nearly, very nearly, absolutely destroyed one of the Don Valley players. He only just got the puck away while he was on the boards, so I think he had to just come off it, because otherwise it probably would have been called boarding. But it was that would have been a very, very good hit. Don't know if the Willie boards could actually take that kind of hit without going through the.
They would have rattled, wouldn't they? Let's face it. But yeah, it's a very unique hockey rink, isn't it?
Physical is what I'm trying to get at, basically.
It is, yeah. It has ramped up a lot in this second period. It's going to be. Oh yes, of course, it's 4-on-4 because Jamie Penaluna is still in the box for the Predators, and of course Dvorsky now sitting in about 50 seconds apart. So it does mean that once this penalty is over and Penaluna rejoins the action, it will be a power play, a rare power play for the Predators for around 50 seconds. As we've got over 11 minutes left in this second period, and still only 1 goal in it, so that's good from the Predators' point of view. It means they're still very much in this game, aren't they?
For that 50 seconds, what I'd like to see the Predators do is get 4 forwards on the ice.
And just go for it.
Go for it, yeah.
Absolutely. As LG thought about the slapper a couple of times, but then advance a bit forward. That's going to be tripping. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yes, it's a penalty. There's no arguments there, and Charters knows it, but I don't think it was intent. It was just unfortunate. I think his stick was still out there, and he knew it was like a late tackle in football. You committed to it, and even if you pull out, you know you're still going to catch the man, and that's kind of what it was. And he'll be disappointed with that, because that was, unintentional, I think. But what it means is it's going to be 4-on-3 now for the next 48 seconds, and it means we're going to be robbed of that opportunity of a power play for the Predators as well. As Mark Bone is not happy with Franks, the two of them are clashing sticks.
4-on-3, back to 4-on-4, and then we'll have another 4-on-3.
Proctor hit it straight into the breadbasket of Brent Hope, and it's come all the way back now for Willie. Is he going to shoot? He got charged down though, and LG might get a break on here. It's going to be 1-on-1 for the time being. Fires towards goal, and that's all he could do really, as there was 3 players closing him down as Franks is looking to get the break on it. LG thought about hooking him and then thought better of it. Mark Bones back out there now as Proctor's going to wind one up. Fires, glove save by Brent Hope.
That was a good glove save. He was screened by... Was
it Mark Bone perhaps in front of him, 55?
No, one of the Don Valley players
was
screening. Goalie situation again. Yeah, that was a good save. He was screening him right in front, and just managed to get the glove there.
Yeah, fired in there by Franks, but charged down by Stu Darby, and LG will go back to Gavin and try and clear it. It's tied up in that corner a little bit. Somebody's lost a stick. I think it's a Sheffield player. Indeed it is. Packwood, he'll collect. As the puck's just cleared out, Darby will dump it in. Panaluna's going to give chase as he comes out the box. That will do for his penalty. So it's 4-on-4 momentarily, although Dvorsky's waiting to get back on. He'll be back on in about 40 seconds time, and then they'll have the power play again. LG's just got it tied up in the corner. I'm surprised it's not been whistled dead at the minute. It's been there for some time. Oh no, they've come out with it now. It's Mark Bone. He'll just dump it in. Brumby will give chase. And the Don Valley goalie will just clear it all the way around. Back out to LG. He'll just dump it back in. Test the goalie row. It come back off his chest with some force. It's cleared all the way back down to the Predators' end of the ice. Bone will gather, but he's not going to rush it. He's going to take his time here. Calmly playing it out. Brumby had an elbow come up to him there. He had to defend that from
full strength for Don Valley.
Yeah. Back to full strength for them, so Dvorsky's back in, and he's been a prominent player for him in this game, as Dvorsky. He's had a lot of ice time, and he's looked classy when he's been on it as well, as Jones and Darby come together on these near boards.
We've still got a Predators player in the box, but nothing on the clock.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Hopefully they'll know. Yeah, now they're saying it's over and they're letting him in. I was going to say, it wasn't too long into Dvorsky's penalty when he came off, so that seems about fair, but yeah, the timekeeping bench was very quick to get that door open for him.
Do you actually have to manually switch which clock you want here?
Yeah, you do. It's much more complicated than you think. I know one of the Islanders games, one of my friends had to work the clock while I did the game sheet, and it's much more difficult than you think, as well as trying to open the penalty box doors for players and be kind of like a counsellor, because a lot of them are sort of sick of their life by the time they get to sit down. So you take on many roles in that box. It's not as straightforward as you think. As Tommy Smith just keeping possession of the puck here. Does very well, lays it off to Illingworth. He'll just play it up the line, or was attempted to, before one of the players was bundled over by Ronald Pearce. It was Dale, in fact, the centre who plays on that Young Guns line for the Vikings. I think it's great that they've named their lines, because it's something that they get in the NHL, but I think we need to have it more in the NIHL, I think, for next season. That's always good. It's always a bit of fun and something that you can relate to and communicate to the fans as well. So.
Well, I know that Billingham had the pie line.
They did, yeah.
And that didn't even come from the team themselves. That came from a fan having a little bit of a go at one of the plays.
What, for being overweight, that?
And then the players went along with it and started bringing those tinned pies that you can buy.
Yeah.
To games.
Frey Bentos.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a bit of a coming together again now. I don't think there's going to be anything cool though, is there? Is he? He's heading towards the box actually.
Yep.
I didn't actually see a hand gesture as to what cool it was. I just seen him sort of ushering him away, but indeed he has gone to the box.
Thomas Smith.
Yeah, Tommy Smith.
His second penalty?
That's his second penalty of the game, and indeed they've only had
both
3 all
ways.
game. Yeah, it is. I'm assuming it's going to be for roughing. Winter's not happy with him. I'm assuming they're just going to be for roughing for a pair of them. Yeah, but didn't they have the Brazil line there as well at Billingham, or was it the Ronaldo line or something? It was. There was a couple that's been mentioned, but nobody knows what origin it came from or what it was really meant. But
unless that's a little quick between Whitley fans.
No, it was definitely between the Billingham fans, because I asked John O'Langstaff, who's one of our colleagues for the Billingham Stars, of course. He did say it was it existed, but wasn't sure where it came from. As another Don Valley players upended, they were sort of queuing up there, but indeed, I'm just thinking that's their own goal, isn't it? Of course, and that's going to be expensive. That's a stick gone. It's so frustrating that both goalies have the same jersey on, because for a second there, you're not quite sure which team it is. And just
that's interesting. The referee actually taking the stick off there.
Yeah, he just wants it out of the way. He doesn't want it interfering with play. As Don Valley trying to queue up this time. Shot from distance, Blakovsky.
It's just normally, even when you've got a 3-man system, they tend to just leave it there until they're breaking play, and we've got a 2-man system here, and he decided to pull out with edgy playing second netminder there.
Yeah, it was a little bit, wasn't it? And Don Valley seemed to be having the upper hand on this 4-on-4 as another shot from distance. And a great glove save there. And he really went for that save there, didn't he?
And as well, number 63 for the Predators just putting himself on the line there. He stood right in front of that shot without a stick and shoved the Don Valley player off it.
Yeah, as Proctor tried to drive towards goal again, but that one just flashed past that post as Ronald Pearce will carry it in. He's looking to turn around now, try to maybe pull it back. He's got a couple of options there. Ord, he'll fire, tame effort though, as Winter goes, and they've scored! Predators have got that equaliser. And I'm not quite sure who put it in the end, but Ronald Pearce was certainly prominent in it. It's Stu Davies who's going off celebrating it, but
that was a great rebound goal.
That's a great response for him, and it means this game is tied up with just over 5 minutes left in the second period. Great response by the Predators, and it means that they're back on level terms, but what a time to get it as well, just as that penalty was ticking down.
I'd say out of the 2 goals we've had, that was the better one. It was the better worked for goal.
Yeah, I agree.
That wasn't chance. He was stood by the net waiting for that rebound, and
a lot of credit has to go to the American Ronald Pearce there, because he had a good hand in that goal for sure.
He was Predators player had been there for quite a while and just left totally unmanned. Yeah,
as they're going again, but Proctor's just trying to pinch in there, and he will steal it up the ice. Davies just trying to clear it, and I think he has come out with it. Indeed he has, but only as far as Hartley in the air is going to be boarding on the Predators, and that's going to be frustrating as Don Valley.
Mark Bone going to the box.
It is. It's T-Bone who's going to go to the box, and let's hope he doesn't get a grilling later for that.
Bit of an unfortunate penalty.
It is a little bit.
I think there was just a lot of men there, and I don't think he could quite see whether the player on the board still had the puck. But
no, indeed, as it means it's another penalty that they're going to have to kill. And
just over 5 minutes left in the second period, and I know we were talking about this before the game. Is this the score you would have expected by this point?
Just as they go close there, Hartley trying to redirect a shot. I wasn't, to be honest with you. I mean, we were saying before that Don Valley are a very good side, and I think they're most people's tip to win the championship. But Newcastle Predators have been playing well this season, and let's forget they've only lost once. That was at home to Grimsby, which is a very difficult surface to play on. It's so small, and of course Grimsby are the holders of a championship. They've been champions the last 2 years, the reigning champions. So, you know, to only lose there isn't a bad thing for them. And the fact that they were missing quite a few players on that day as well. So, you know, they've lost once, but they're going to be a decent team. But yeah, just going off results, you'd say that Don Valley were going to be the team to beat. They've won 4 out of 4, and not just won them. I mean, they've put a lot of goals past teams. I mean, double figures. So, yeah, it was always going to be a tough one. And yes, you're quite right. I thought they would have racked up a few more, and they have scored now, just as we said it. Tommy Smith put that one in.
That's frustrating because the Predators were good to whack that around the boards, and is it Lyle or Lydell?
Mel Lydell.
He was stood on the boards, so he was in the way of that clear, and it actually bounced off him to the Don Valley player.
Yeah, that's
very unfortunate.
That is very unfortunate. Yeah, and just as it got back into it, but yeah, disappointed. Just saying as well how we weren't expecting this game to be so close, but the Predators have played really well, and considering they're coming up against such formidable opponents, they've acquitted themselves well so far and spent a lot of time on the penalty kill, of course.
I just think they've had 2 very unlucky goals from Don Valley. That first one when they were all tied up in the corner, and that second one was basically just as a result of it not being cleared and being stopped.
Well, indeed. I mean, the bouncers haven't gone for him, have they? You're quite right. And the first one was fortunate and ended up going 5-hole, but sort of trickled between Brent Hope's legs, just waiting to see what happened with that shot as it went through the crease. But yeah, that one's disappointed as well, taking a deflection off an official. And we've got it all to do again, but they're still in it as Smith carries it in. He's looked lively for him. He finds Dale. Dale tries to go top shelf, but Hope once again sees it away. There's a huge shot for Millingworth from distance. Not quite sure what he's trying to achieve with that. Just dumping it in, really, as Hodgkiss will gather. He's going to get out muscled, though he has. Force a turnover. Illingworth's going to try and pinch in here, but Winter will carry it out, and he's looking to try and get a break on now. He's got Davies alongside with him. He goes for a backhanded pass. Davies unable to gather as Don Valley trying to just poke it clear with Dale. It comes all the way up the line. Hodgkiss is off to give chase, and Smith's in here. Is Smith going to finish? No, a little bit of an unusual stance there by the goalie, but he covered it up.
I'm tired now.
lie down on his back, but he got the job done though, and that's all that matters. 2:26 to go in this second period, and a 2-1 scoreline now to the Don Valley Vikings. As Spakovsky is just waiting behind his line mate, waiting to receive the puck. Pended a little bit there. Franks is in the mix as well, as Predators just trying to ease it out. Proctor will gather. He's got Willie alongside him, but in the end goes out wide to Franks. Franks will flick it back into the zone for his 2 line mates to chase. Now the Predators are looking to try and get the break on again here with Darby. He'll just try and centre it towards goal, and that flashed through the crease there. I don't think their goalie was expecting that to happen, as David Damola. There's some shoving going on there. Ronald Pearce not happy with his opposite number at all, and is he going to have another word as he goes past? Yeah. Chris Willie, the experienced extra man, and Don Valley have gone up the other end and put that one in. Franks this time, yeah, he's part of that Brexit line. And there's some more going on here. LG having a word with Willie as well. They're not happy with the former Durham Wasp man at all as a cross-check goes in. Yeah, LG not happy with him at all, actually. Not quite sure what happened. I know Ronald Pearce wasn't happy as he went past him. He had a word, and I thought he was going to skate up behind him and cross-check him, but I think he was just more angry and gave him some verbals. But LG not happy with him at all either, and letting him know it. And something must have went on there that we didn't quite see, but hopefully we'll see back on the highlights later on.
The thing is, they were both too busy with each other that Don Valley could just go up the other end and put it in the net. I think that what we should have seen there is the referee should have put them both in the box for that and kind of said, right, come on guys, let's play some hockey.
Yeah, well, he's let it go, actually, which I suppose is fair enough. If you're going to call it, you've got to call it both ways, and in the end he's decided not to, so at least it's in that sense it's fair, but it means that Don Valley now have a 3-1 lead with just over a minute left in this period. Is it going to be 4? No, Jones just snatches at that one, comes back round, goes for a wraparound, and it's really, really ramping up, isn't it, this dislike for one another.
We've got players around the net jabbing at the puck. We're getting a bit of push and shoving.
Yeah, we certainly are, and
we've got another 21 minutes worth of hockey to be played, and don't know, could boil over.
It could well do. Yeah, there's still plenty to go, and let's not forget the Predators aren't out of this. It's only a 2-goal game.
1 minute left in the second period.
Yeah. As the puck comes all the way around, Don Valley have still got it high up the ice. Just looking to see what options they've got here. They'll go behind the net. Brent Hope was wise to that, and he just covered off his near post.
They're getting back to their setup play now. They've kind of lost it a little bit, but they're doing it again. They're slowing it down.
Yeah. As Winter's trying to play it out, but he gets slashed at a little bit on the way through. Illingworth trying to clear it. Charters just closing his man down there. Puck comes all the way back down. Charters will go and close down again. Peter Tomek, he'll put a hit in. Now Jones for Don Valley finds Packwood out on that left wing. LG just ushering him off the puck. Packwood will respond with a shove of his own. And, well, the referee missed that one. That was a huge hit. That's him. That's number 4. It was a great strike by Illingworth. I think he's been threatening to do that all game. He just connected perfectly on that one and arrowed a shot into that top corner with 8 seconds to go in the second period. As now we've got more theatrics as a Don Valley player's gone down. And another one. There was just before the goal, there was a shove actually by Shanks, and he was lucky that the officials missed it, but they're really not happy now, the Predators. And right now, these are two teams that don't like each other.
Yeah. I guess we should talk about the goal.
We should. I mean, it was a great finish. It was a great strike. He hit it as perfect as he wanted, really.
Illingworth had no place in front of him, no screen at all, nobody there to block it, and he was completely unmanned. Everyone had almost forgot that he was even there. He kind of ghosted in.
Yeah, that's right. And it's just unfortunate that LG wants to go here with one of the imports, I think that is, 81. That's Jakub Dvorsky. Yeah, it is, isn't it? That's that Slovakian who took the penalty earlier on.
Another penalty.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just been this last couple of minutes that they've conceded 3 quick goals, and they're going to have to be careful here now. The Predators need to keep their head because they're going to be killing a 5-on-3 penalty, and yeah, time is running out on this game. But I think LG's just shouting there.
Both ways.
Call it both sides, yeah. And he's got a point because we have seen some stuff go uncalled. So, I think he's got a fair point there. But yeah, I mean, it was that melee just outside of the crease following the 4th goal, which has caused a slight delay. And both teams just having a quick word. I mean, there's only 8 seconds left, so I'm sure they can just drop the puck and let's just wait until the short intermission that we get in rec games. It's usually about 2 or 3 minutes. Emerson just having a quick word with his fellow official Mel Lydell and 1 or 2 of the Predators players. Now we're just discussing something with the Vikings and going to the bench to explain his call, I believe. Yeah, just having a quick word with the timekeeper, just saying what's been called and for how long. So I'd suspect LG will get 1 for roughing.
8 seconds is a long time in hockey.
Well, it can be, yeah. It can.
So Don Valley could have looked to put all forwards on the ice on a 5-on-3.
I think they might have done it. If the face-off was, say, in the Predator zone, I think they might have done, but at centre ice it's too much of a risk, because if the Predators had won the draw, they could have just took a shot on goal, and that's the reason behind it. I've seen it done, certainly in the NHL, when you pull the goalie, if there's 3-4 seconds left or something, you just...
not goalie pull, just have 5 forwards on the ice.
Oh, well, yes, they could have done that, certainly. There's nothing wrong with that. But No, I thought you meant pulling the goalie for the extra attacker. I've seen that done a couple of times, but that's usually when the face-off is in the opponent's zone and the centre ice is no place to do that. Is this 5? Illingworth queuing up again. Illingworth not happy with Charters, and Charters is a man you wouldn't want to mess with, really.
It's unfortunate that there's no buzzer, because the referee had play going on for about 6 seconds after the end of the period there, and it didn't get blown down.
Yeah, is this going to be another call, or is this just Davies having a word with him away from the team? I think it is, isn't it? He's just having a quick word with him.
I think he's pointed out that there was a Don Valley player going in for quite a few number of hits in that corner.
Yeah, now there's going to be someone coming over from Don Valley, Willie. I think he might be their captain, actually. That's certainly their experienced member of the team, as he's coming over. And there's a few fans just creeping down to the plexi now, just to see if they can hear what's going on. One of which is Gary Barnes, father of Jordan, of course, who plays for Whitley Warriors. He's just seeing what's going on and taking in what's being said.
Shame this isn't NHL where we can just listen to what the
It would be great if the refs were mic'd up, wouldn't it? It really would. And I think as well, it would be better for the sport, because I know there's a lot of teams get frustrated with officials and stuff that's said or sometimes not explained properly, and sometimes the officials aren't approachable when players are trying to find out what they've been called, and they can be quite arrogant in that respect, officials, and they'll just say, no, get in the box, I'll give you another 10 if you don't shut up.
I mean, for example, there was an incident with Billingham Solway game where one of Billingham's players ended up getting suspended, and he had claimed that the referee, one of the officials on the ice, had said something, and that would be a particular example where you'd have that audio and you'd be able to say, actually, no, that didn't happen.
Well, that's right. I mean, certainly as a Warriors fan, I can point to the one at Telford where Andre Payet received a penalty for being Andre Payet, I think, for the name on his back. He wasn't sure what it was called, so he asked the official, and the official ended up giving him a 10-game suspension for it, which was an absolute farce. So I think if you had referees mic'd up, it would create a little bit more transparency, and people will be able to understand a little bit more.
At the same time, I don't think they expect to be liked.
No, I don't suppose they do, but I think they don't help their cause when you do get that sort of arrogance from them, and certainly one or two others, isn't there? Wardell is another one who isn't popular at Whitley or Billingham throughout the years for the calls that he's made, so I think it would make a little bit more sense if we had that in hockey. But
Wardell's not popular. Farron's not popular. Which referee is popular, Adam?
Well, that's true. There's probably not many of them, is there? But I mean, I think Emerson's relatively fair. I've really got a problem with him, and Dave Farron is as well. I mean, I know he's not popular in Billingham for some reason, but I've never really had a problem with him refereeing Whitley games. I think he's always been he's been fair enough, I'd say. I think it's just Wardell who generally causes issues for Whitley, and I know Billingham feels strongly about him as well, so we'll use him as the example on that one. The benchmark of our argument. As third period is just about to get underway here. 1:52 left on this penalty kill for the Predators. Stu Darby's going to take the draw for his team.
Yeah.
And it's an important period, this, isn't it, for them?
I suppose just as we didn't discuss it that much, who would, just whichever team, would you say came out the second period as the better team?
Ooh, well, I mean, common sense would say, looking at the scoreline, you would say the Don Valley Vikings, but I don't think it was as clear-cut as the scoreline says. I mean, for 18 minutes of that period, I think that the Predators really acquitted themselves well. And yes, they had a lot of penalties to kill, but they got themselves back in the game. They were looking to get the upper hand at that stage, but ultimately penalty troubles cost them, hasn't it?
And a lot of the penalties really should have gone both ways. So
indeed, yeah. And you look at the scoreline and say it's been one-sided. It wasn't anything but, as they're looking to try and crush the net there, but And while they're queuing up, that's gone in
That's
on the
in.
third attempt. Malcolm Smith this time, but it took it took 3 attempts for Don Valley to get that goal. And they were just queuing up, weren't they, really?
Yeah, first shot, good save, and second shot again, good save because he was sprawled out and he managed to get a leg on that. But third one, he hadn't quite recovered his position yet, and Don Valley player was just there waiting to put it behind him.
Yeah, that's right. And like you say, he wasn't able to get up that quickly. And when you've got 2 or 3 opposing players just lining up, it's always going to be difficult. But that's now 5-1, and it means that the Predators are back to 4 skaters at least, as they just need to see out this last penalty and then really just go for it, as time is running out if they want to salvage something from this game. But for certainly the first 38 minutes, I think the Predators have more than lived with the Vikings, and it's not been one-sided as you'd think, as Ian Russell just puts a hit on Dvorsky. I think they're trying to get Dvorsky to react here. He seems like he's got a bit of a temper, and if they can get him into taking a stupid penalty and get him off the ice, that would be great, because he's posted a lot of ice time in this game for them.
Yeah.
As Ord will keep it in, he'll just dump it back in. Russell thought about going for it. Penaluna will get there first. Comes back to the point, but T-Bone was unable to keep it in. Comes back, clearance by Hope, comes out. Don Valley player gets there first, so Dale, great back check in there by him, and leaves it for Tommy Smith. Smith's been an important player for his team. Actually, he's got a couple of goals and he's got a couple of penalties as well, and had an interesting evening's work so far, hasn't he?
Yeah, but again,
Good glove save.
Don Valley have just. I think with some of their players they have stood out, but in terms of the goals that they've got, really, I mean, we keep saying the first 2 goals were kind of lucky, and then the next few were both power play goals, were they?
Yeah, I think, but yeah, that's right.
And then that most recent one, I mean, that's probably the only kind of fair goal that you could say. I mean, every goal's fair. Every team plays for every goal that they get, but
yeah, like you said, first couple of goals were unlucky bounces, and I think at least 3 of them goals have been on the power play as well. As
I think this is
Charters just got tangled up with one of their players.
I think this is one of those times where you could look at the scoreboard and say, okay, Don Valley 5-1. Well, they must have been the better team there, but Predators have been playing really well as well, especially from the end of the first period.
Yeah.
They've really stepped it up, and
it's just been them 2 minutes of craziness, really, which has cost them a little bit. And the first 38 minutes, I'd say the Predators have more than matched them, and really.
And you can't undermine the Predators. They're playing against a good side here.
Yeah, who I think everyone recognises as the strongest team in the league by far. And indeed, one of their imports is missing. The Pole, Pavel Kravchuk, he's missing today, and to be able to name 5 imports is pretty impressive. It's all a level higher than what some of these lads have been used to growing up. Certainly Poland and in particular Slovakia are much higher hockey nations. So, they've acquitted themselves well, I think, so far, the Predators. I think they can take a lot of positives from this, and there's still a way to go. They can still get themselves back into it. But this was always going to be the tough one, and if they can get this one out of the way and still be in contention for a spot at the playoffs, that's what they've got to aim for right now. As Hartley thought about going for it, and in the end it's just allowed the Predators to regather. Play it amongst themselves right now. Ronald Pearce looking to go for the long stretch pass, but was unable to get it free to begin with. Dvorsky now looking to try and bring it back in. Hip check there by Mark Bone, just didn't quite happen for him, but it was enough to take Dvorsky off the puck. As Pearce looking to play it out. Hartley closed him down very quickly, though, and Pat Wood's there as well. Bone will go again. He'll play it up to Pearce. Pearce just trying to dump it in, as some more heavy hits coming in from Don Valley. It's the Predators will probably have a bit of a reputation for playing physical hockey, but Don Valley are certainly trying to match them on that score, and it's just always seems to be the Predators who get called on the penalties.
Yeah, just retaliation penalties that I think should have been given. I think the Predators feel like they should have been given with some of the shouting that's come from the bench through the night. So I think they've just got unlucky that they've probably gone for some of these pushes and pushing and shoving to try and rile up the Don Valley players, expecting it to be called both ways, and thinking that it's going to be worth getting them riled up so that they, you kind of see a change in their play.
Yeah. As Packwood just covers it in, big mid-ice hit with Hodgkiss. Hodgkiss comes off worse actually on that occasion. He was the one who hit the ice, but good full force hit. As Winter just plays it out, Penaluna now. Yeah.
Oh.
So Ian Russell and Jamie Penaluna just getting stuck in there. Comes back out. Russell will touch it up again. Hartley will get the loose puck back to one of his D-men. Can't quite see who that is right now. Tommy Smith then with a long stretch pass. He's going to carry it in. He's looking up. He had nobody with him. He had to go himself. Eventually Dale, he's the centre on his line, eventually caught up with him. Malcolm Smith batted out the air then by the Predators and cleared up the line. That'll allow them to make that line change. Dvorsky, who we say always seems to be on the ice for Don Valley. Smith collects. T-Bone will put in a crunching challenge. Now Bone again. He just flicks it out. Oh, no, tried to be clever there. Dvorsky went for a backhanded pass. It's played in Charters, who got his shot away, but that could have played his team into trouble then, couldn't it?
Yeah, he could have. I believe that was an all-man rush there.
It was, yeah. He was just trying to be a little bit clever, wasn't he? Just trying to be a bit fancy with the stick handling. As Shanks, he's looking to play it back. Gets around his man though, and can he pull it back for someone who's there? Nobody really, no real option for him at that stage. Tommy Smith, Shanks tries to close him down. Smith, though, will take it beyond the net. One of many players on this team who've come through the various Sheffield junior development teams. Seems a lot of this team have either played there or gone to roller hockey and then come back to ice hockey. And,
frantic save there, but
it was, yeah. He just wanted to get that covered up, didn't he?
His glove.
Yeah, 14 minutes left then, and it's currently 5-1 to the Don Valley Vikings now.
It was a bit silly there. The Don Valley player was trying to be too fancy with that, gave up the puck, took too long to actually notice that, hang on, I'm letting them have an on-man rush here, and then eventually realised and got back in with the play. But
yeah, pull back there, just unable to be capitalised on by number 77, Franks. He plays on that Brexit line, of course. Dumped back in. Emerson just getting out of the way as Adam Winter will collect. He was closed down pretty quickly there by Franks, but he'll do enough just to play it out. Proctor just trying to tip it back in. Ronald Pearce will finish his check as Hodgkiss unable to clear. Kangyahi was tripped there by Davies. I think they've got away with it, or has he? No, I think he's made the call. I think he will be getting a tripping penalty on this one. As yes, he is tripping. He's made the call. Don't think he's too happy about his shake of the head as he goes off. So 2-minute break for the coach. He'll sit down. Alge's still in the box. That must have been a 10-minute misconduct he got then.
Yeah,
at the end of the second period. So he's still in the box, and that's an important loss for the Predators really, because he's been playing a lot of ice time on the blue line this evening.
And of course, losing their coach, who has put away their only goal in the game so far.
Indeed, yeah. Franks, he will try and line one up for his teammate Spakowski. Brumby now just playing it out. Comes back to the point as Proctor was trying to play it back in. Brumby getting in the way, just doing all he can to disrupt their flow and momentum as shot comes through the crease. Another save by Hope, just padding it away. Winter's tying one of his men up behind the net as the Predators are just trying to play it out here. Willie will have to give chase. Brumby's closing in on him. And Brumby and Willie just high up the ice there. Willie will go beyond the net. And Brumby just trying to put him under a little bit of pressure, see if he could turn that puck over in a dangerous area. Some challenges going in. Predators just trying to clear it, but Don Valley just queuing up again as Kanyar gonna find one from distance. Illingworth coming back. He'll blast one off the boards as they're looking to go again, this time with Franks. He'll carry it in. Michael Ord just clearing it. Proctor will gather the loose puck. Plays it across the other side of the ice for Packwood. Packwood just looking to try and play someone. I tell you what though, Don Valley, when they've got the space and the room to move, they play some nice tape-to-tape hockey, nice passing. And
yeah, their passing has been really good the whole game. And like I've mentioned a few times, they do just kind of like to bring it in, slow it down, and then get those passes going around, confuse the Predators netminder a little bit.
Yeah, as Davis re-enters the game, we're back to full strength. But I mean, some nice possession hockey there by puck possession by the Don Valley Vikings. You can tell why they're top of the standings right now. As Bone centres one, put a little bit too mustard on that one, I think. As Bone will go again. It's tied up a little bit in that corner. He's got Peter Tomek there and Shanks to help him. Davies will keep it in though. Finds Winter. Winter will try and drive one. Goes for the glove save. I don't think the goalie knew too much about that, but that's inadvertently helped Don Valley get a counter here. Packwood just leaves it there for Hartley. Some really nice passing again. Don Valley, and that's another unfortunate bounce. Has that one been given? Yeah, that's gone in. That's
Did that
gone
just trickle in there?
It came off. I think it came off a Predator's skate, and it's like the equivalent of scoring an own goal in football.
Yeah.
That caught Hope completely off balance. Was not expecting it, and that's yet another unlucky bounce going against the Predators in this game. That's half the goals they've conceded have come like that, and that's going to be frustrating for them because really it's not been a 6-1 game at all, has it?
No. 10:30 left in the third. Not sure I can see the Predators come back from this. But
no, I doubt that very much now.
Realistically, I don't think it's going to affect them too much because they know that they're facing a red hot side at the moment.
Yeah, they knew coming into this weekend it was going to be the toughest game they had on home ice all season. They were well aware of that. And as I said before, for 38 minutes they live with them, more than matched them, and they can take a lot of heart from that and just draw on that experience and come back. They've got to play this team again down at Sheffield later in the season, so be interested to see what they do when they match up again.
You have to give it to the Predators though. It's not like they knew they were coming into a difficult game and just thought, oh well, we'll just hand them the game on a play.
Yeah, we're not going to roll over and die. No, they've matched them, they've gone for it, and but well over half the game, almost 2/3 of the game, they've more than matched their opponents, and yeah, we've got to take a lot of credit for that. And as I say, they can draw on that certainly for the next encounter. Just a little reminder actually next week that Predators are playing the Sheffield Ice Tigers on home ice, so that's another one that we're hoping to bring you, courtesy of Bellingham Stars TV. So do look out for the announcements on that one. As a fierce drive from the point there. Comes back off the netting, and finally Kurt Alge's misconduct penalty has expired. He can come back into the game now. As we've got just over 9 minutes left. But yeah, just another quick reminder that game is, I think it's next Saturday around about 12:15, 12:30. So do check the usual places for that one. As Kangia will take this face off, but it's going to be the Predators who come out with it, and they're going to look to try and play that the line. Penaluna just helping it on its way. He will now give chase up against Proctor, but Proctor's able to clear it somewhat. Kangia just trying to get something on it as well. Predators will go again, and it's come back to Don Valley on the red line. Will he get caught in possession a little bit? Brumby closing him down. Ian Russell getting an interception in. T-Bone looking to just clear it out, but Franks will keep it in there. This Brexit line looking so classy for the Don Valley Vikings. Bone going again, dumps it in, comes back off the boards. Proctor will probably get there first. He does, clears it. Brumby trying to dump it back in. Sorry, Michael Ord trying to dump it back in. Penaluna did well there, just getting in the way, just intercepting that pass. It's in that corner. Don Valley throwing the challenges in. Spakovsky, the Slovakian winger, he's throwing himself into them boards. Penaluna's going to give chase again. Proctor will gather first, so he will look to try and play it out. Does so, but only as far as Anthony Charters, number 70. Charters getting sticked as well, but he shook that off. He's a strong player. He's going to take more than that to get him off the puck. Comes back out to Hodgkiss. He'll dump it in. Now, Ronald Pearce. Franks will get it back to Don Valley. Pearce puts the challenge in. It will come back out the corner. As Don Valley just desperately trying to clear his puck here. There's a sighter from Charters. That's in. Shanks. The shot from distance from Charters and forced the rebound. Shanks was on hand to put that one home. And that's no more than they've deserved, really. That's the second goal of the game. And it's nice to see that they've closed the gap slightly on that goal, on that scoreline, because goal difference does count, and you never know, it might come in handy later in the season.
Yeah. Just as you said there, just getting that shot in, getting the rebound, and he was right there ready to put it in the back of the net. You know what the Predators have to do to make Don Valley a weaker side? They need to vote for the Conservative Party to get rid of that Brexit line.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. They're going again here. If they could get another one back, and
if that was a Predators player, that was a goal.
Yeah, indeed, it was. He would have crept in at the back post. That would have been 6 feet. I think that's what you've got to do. You've just got to crash the net, force some rebounds, and just be on hand to fire home some of them loose pucks. I think that the goalie has looked strong all game, but he does give up some rebounds. I've noticed that. So, yeah, that's maybe something to take into consideration for the first fixture down in Sheffield later in the season. Yeah,
it does look like it looks like the netminder is starting to get a little bit flustered in there.
It is a bit, yeah. I mean, if this had happened 10, 15 minutes ago, we might have had a slightly different outcome, actually. It's good to see the Predators haven't given up. They're still fighting to get goals, and that's great to see. As Ronald Pearce dumps it in, be gathered by Stu Darby. Puck takes a deflection. The goalie just flapped at that a little bit, trying to reach behind his own goal to get that. Going for the reach around. As it's dumped back in, Algie will gather. That's whistle's gone. So be brought all the way back down, and keeps that pressure just on the Don Valley goalie. I'm going to get a face-off just to his right now. 6:42 remaining. It's now a 6-2 game. Davies, the captain, and the coach for the Predators, gets it back to Algie. Fires from distance. Couldn't get too much pace on it, though. And Packwood will clear. Winter will try and dump it back in at the line. Hartley, though, forces a turnover, finds Jones. They're two of the members on that Tour de France line, along with Packwood. They like to cycle the puck, and you can see why. Shot from distance, Algie forces the glove save. He has to just palm it away, though. Pearce was in there. Predators just trying to get the puck back high up the ice. Algie will go back, though. He'll gather. This is his first shift since serving that 10-minute misconduct penalty. Algie will go behind the net. Plays it at the line to Winter. Winter's going to try and pinch in. Tried to take it past Tommy Smith, but Smith was alert to that and defended that well. Smith then puts a hit in. Hartley's in that corner with Brumby. It's going to be the Don Valley man who will come out with it, though, and now his team are looking to counter. Smith again, he gets there first. Algie just trying to move up the line, trying to take that puck off him. And Tommy Smith ends up flat on his face there. He's got back up quickly. That's good to see. Algie's going to go into the corner. He's going to have to be quick, though, because Dale closed in on him there. I think he was just trying to hold the puck up a little bit, but had to speed it up somewhat because he was getting closed down. Shot from distance by Proctor. Forces a save, but Hope will get that. 5:07 to go, Matthew, and it's been a positive response, really, from the Predators, hasn't it? The last sort of 10 minutes or so, they've stemmed the bleed in, and they've even got to go back now. Yeah,
they're not showing any signs of kind of just, as most teams would, maybe like conserve their energy, just make sure that they don't give up any more goals. They're still going for it, still chasing after some goals.
Good for them, as well as Ronald Pearce Peter Tomek gets in there. Woolley will gather. He's just going to dump it in. And Michael Lord will get there first.
I've been trying to look up David Darmola, who is the netminder for Don Valley, obviously wearing that Northern Stars jersey. I've been trying to look up why he's wearing that.
He's wearing it, yeah.
You know, if he is known, then apologies if he is known, but I couldn't find anything about it, so...
No, it's not somebody I'm familiar with, I've got to say.
Unless
other than I know that he did come from roller hockey and got into the sport that way. That's all I know about him, but why it looks like a Northern Stars jersey, I'm not entirely sure. Perhaps he's a fan and purchased it, who knows. But it is a bit random to see a jersey like that, isn't it? And especially when it's so much like the opposing team's colours. It just causes no end of problems.
Maybe
today.
he just saw that there was commentary on this game and thought, you know what,
we'll stick a spanner in the works for him. Yeah, absolutely. It's caught us out on more than one occasions because it's, as we keep saying, it's so much like the Predators jersey and nothing at all like Don Valley's black and orange. So, yes, thank you for that.
It almost looks like, whereas you'd expect the losing team, the Predators, to be kind of dumping the puck more and not really bothering to play it as much. It's actually Don Valley that seems to be dumping the puck a lot more.
They are, yeah, and that's down to the Predators forced them to do that. They've applying the pressure and they've kind of had to do that. And slight messy line change there. They just had to hold the play up a little bit, the Predators. But Ronald Pearce is going to come in there. It's going to be called for offside, I think. 3:36 to go. But yeah, it's apart from really them 2 minutes before the second intermission, you take them 2 minutes out of it, we would have had probably a 2-2 game right now and completely different outcome.
Yeah, well, we got a 5-on-3 come out of that, and then obviously we had a couple of goals in that couple of minutes as well, so this game probably would have been a lot different if that hadn't happened. But
yeah, like I say, take them 2 minutes out of it, it's a completely different game, and it just shows the great character that the Predators have got, really, that they've found it within themselves to be able to come back. As they've got a breakaway here. It's
2-on-0.
Yeah, and he went to go top shelf there, but fired straight over the top. Frank's trying to dig it back out from behind the net, but yeah, he hit that full pelt, didn't he? And going at full speed as well. Would have been a spectacular finish, but he was unable to do it. Frank's trying to go back across the crease. Hope still trying to get back up onto his feet. He has now. Frank's again comes back off the boards once more. Spakovsky looking to fire it, and that comes back off the post. Frank's once more.
That's
LG.
3 good goal opportunities there that they just haven't followed through on.
Yeah, and they've just lashed at it really more than anything. And considering how well drilled they are, what a good side they are, I thought would have been a little bit more patient with that, but it wasn't happening on that one. As once more, another one's fired in. They're just peppering the goal with shots, really. Dvorsky, he was never going to get it past him there. It was he had that top corner well covered. And that's ridiculous. I can't believe he's making a call there. If he's made a call on LG, that was crazy because there was nothing wrong with it. He was committed. He was committed to the check, and he was no way he could have stopped himself. That's a ridiculous call. Call of interference. Well, he was committed.
I thought the Don Valley player had come in there, but
he was committed to the hit, and there was no way you're going to slow down in that situation. You can't put the brakes on when you're committed to doing a hit like that. Yes, it was a little bit late, but it wasn't intentional. He just was committed to delivering a full hit, and that's a poor call in my opinion. There was no need for it, and with 2:21 to go and a 2-minute penalty to serve, that's, I think, all but ended the game.
I mean, as you were saying before, even when you're losing the game, there's always a chance that goal difference is going to come as being an important thing later on. And the Predators were looking like they were getting some motion going. I know that it is quite late in the game to get that, but still could have got 1-2 goals. And
well, exactly, yeah. And it looks like the scoreline looks a lot more respectable then.
But now they've had that taken away from them.
They have, yeah. As Willie's going to look to shoot here, fires low. As Willie will look to pull it back. Hartley, he'll help him out. Just in the corner there. Proctor unable to keep it in, so the puck will come all the way back down. It means that the Don Valley Vikings will have to come all the way back out again. Brumby will close them down, just trying to eat into his power play. When this penalty is over, it means that we'll have about 30 seconds of 5-on-5, but don't imagine there'll be much in it by that point, as the long stretch pass found Packwood at centre ice. He'll just dump it in. Jones will give chase, and it'll come all the way back round, in fact, for number 74, Jack Hartley. He'll collect. They're going to get a break on there, maybe.
I thought Mark Bone was going to get ahead of that one.
Yeah, Proctor just saw it out. Another player who came through the Sheffield Junior system, so a lot of talented guys out there.
Possible high stick in there.
Yeah, Packwood's another one who's had time with the Sheffield Junior development.
If anything, the Predators are going to just look to prevent them from getting another goal here.
Yeah, as Hartley's just gone down there. I didn't quite see what caused him to go down, but Vikings not happy at all. So another thing, one of the members of that Brexit line, the centre, Matai Kangya, he's actually had some time playing for the Steel Dogs. So they've got a former EPL player in this game. So it just tells you the kind
former
of...
what?
Former EPL. Yeah, I see what you did there. That league that's gone bust, basically, no longer exists. But anyway, Steel Dogs, who were a prominent team in that division, who are now going to be playing the Warriors and the Stars next season. And he's seen ice time for them, so that's pretty impressive, really. So shows you the kind of depth and skill that this team has, and quality, really, as it comes back to the point. It's kept in by Dvorsky. Behind the net now, looking to lay it back to Illingworth. He's going to fire one. Doesn't get a clean connection on it. Just puck bounces along there. And
always these... it's like the puck doesn't want to... ironically, the puck doesn't want to play ball this game.
I was going to say, the Warrior, just interrupting you, sorry Matthew, but the ice surface is never great at Whitley. But to be fair, recently it's not been too bad. But maybe, like you were saying before, the ice wasn't cut. Do you think perhaps that might have had a say in it?
Well, we've got like the equivalent of 4 periods of the ice not being cut now, so probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to have had an impact, surely, hasn't it? There'll be a lot of snow sitting up on there as well. That was a crunching challenge there as the heavy hits are going in. 20 seconds to go now. Illingworth, as LG comes back into the game. Illingworth still has the puck. LG's looking to try and close him down. Tommy Smith can't control it. Comes all the way through.
And the Don Valley netminder looking very relaxed there.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Yeah, just lie back, have a cocktail and a read of a newspaper, why don't you? As Smith looking to try and finish this here.
That's the end of the game. The clock's gone.
Yeah, and that's it. That will do it. So the Don Valley Vikings have come away with a 5th win. There we go. Some more going in here. Malcolm Smith. Probably not the brightest idea to go after those Predators players, because you will get hurt, believe me. Smith sensibly now goes back to the bench. As a little bit unsavoury to end the game, but it's been boiling over, hasn't it, all game?
If you're going to go a whole game just shoving players over, then drop the gloves.
Yeah, let them go, yeah. Just do it. But I know you get an extra lengthy suspension in rec hockey if you do have a fight. It's a lot more stricter than the NIHL. But yeah, as I think it is done with now. But yeah, just saying there, Don Valley have come away with a 6-2 win here. And Predators will feel a little bit disappointed, I think, given that the bounces didn't go their way and some of the calls that weren't called on Don Valley. And
can we get through the handshakes without
well, yeah, it could be interesting. It could be a slap shot moment, couldn't it?
Now, let's take a moment to look at the ice for a second. Emerson just threw the puck over towards the timekeepers, just give them the puck back, and it's like a massive snow heap in front of the puck when he did that. Right. So it is very hilly out there.
It is. I mean, you can see the ridges of snow that's formed on there. I mean, it's, you can't expect a puck to make a clean line. You could see the amount of deflections that happened as well. So it's no wonder that we have had some pretty awkward bounces which have led to goals. It's inevitable, I would say. But no, Don Valley, though, let's take nothing away from them. They're a class act. They look head and shoulders the best team in this league by far. But the Predators have given them a good go today. And that's something to take into the second half of the season, I think.
Yeah, Predators can't walk out of this game feeling disappointed themselves. They've had a good game. I'd say man of the match is either going to come out being Stu Davies, the coach who obviously put in their first goal of the game, or maybe even their netminder. He did take a lot of shots this game and did do pretty well. And Don Valley.
I mean that's a tricky one. I actually think probably Tommy Smith. He got a couple of goals. He's been at the centre of kind of all the flashpoints in the game. He's stood out for me in that respect. He's looked quick. He's drawn a couple. He's taken a couple of penalties for his team as well. But he's looked a good player, a good outlet, and he's certainly up amongst the leading point scorers for his team this season, along with I think Kangyar, who I didn't think had the greatest of games considering the level he's played at. But that's certainly that young guns line. I would go with Tommy Smith. And to be fair, Dvorsky as well as a defenseman, he was played a lot of ice time, but looks like it's going to be number 8. 8, is it? Yeah, it's,
which is Illingworth. Sorry.
Yeah, he's been on the ice quite a bit as well. I mean,
he did actually have a good game. That was one of them.
Yeah,
he's at the very bottom of the sheet, so I missed that one. But.
Yeah, he's only come with 4 D-men, so it means that they're all going to get a lot of ice time. But Illingworth was Dvorsky's defensive partner, so. Yeah, he was at the centre of everything. And actually, Adam Winter, to be fair, he had a good game as well. He had to play a lot of ice time. He's one of only 3 recognised defensemen in this game today. So fair play to him. He was looking to drive forward, wasn't he? A lot of the time, trying to bring the puck out and force the issue with the offensive attack. So that's a good call, I think. But so indeed, the next game will be next week against the Sheffield Ice Tigers, while the Don Valley Vikings survive a tough battle here against the Predators and remain unbeaten. They're 5-0 for the season.
Yep, and just to tie that off, overall summary, I would just say that Don Valley, the team that everyone expected to come into this game as a very hot team so far this season. Everyone expected Don Valley to come out with the win, but Predators really can't hang their heads in shame. That was a good game for them. There's games that come along where you're just facing a better team and you can't really do much about it.
No, they come up against a strong team. They know that. They knew it was going to be tough, but they'll take a lot from that. I think that's got to be probably the closest game that Don Valley have had all season. So fair play to the Predators, and good luck to them next week. And once again, it's been a pleasure. I've been Adam Mackman.
I've been Matthew Dunning, and I'm going to go ask him why he's wearing a Northern Stars jersey.